Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining us on another episode of Property Pros Podcast. Today, our guest is Tony Milian, Vice President of Endless Summer Roofing. Tony, take a couple minutes. Tell us about yourself, how you're involved in Endless Summer, the story behind it, and just give the folks a little bit about you.
Awesome. Hey, guys. Well, thank you very much for giving me an opportunity to join you all on this podcast today. So yeah, I'm an industrial engineer by background. I've had a roofing license for about 15 years. And before I started roofing, I worked in the corporate world in healthcare, doing a lot of process improvement, industrial engineering work. And over the 12 to 15 years of doing that corporate work, got tired of showing up to the office every day, not seeing, true change and the fruits of my labor happen every single day. And so I decided to bust out my roofing license and start doing some roofing work here locally in Jacksonville, Florida. We're doing roofing work all the way from Fernandina out to Ocala and all the way down the Palm Coast, a good chunk of the North Florida area. And really, I think one of the things that I feel makes us different in the area is the fact that I'm very hands-on. You see, I'm actually right here in the San Marco area working on a roofing project today, a beautiful 2-story home, turn of the century home here. We're doing some shingle work and some torch down in the back. And it's just, I love being close to the work. I'm out here. I have a lot of experience with the roofing work itself. And so it's not every day that the owner of the company tries to be out there with the crew, learning and making sure that things are going smoothly and that the work is happening in a high quality way. So I'm really proud of that. Have an unbelievable crew of guys that works really long, hard hours, and they make it all happen for me.
That's awesome. Tell us a little bit more about what's the industrial engineering work that you did, and then how did you tell us? I don't think you told us what year you started doing the roofing and kind of got out of that. How does that help you with the work that you're doing now, that background that you have in that?
Sure. That's a great question. So with my industrial engineering degree in the corporate world, I used to work on doing process improvement work in healthcare. So I'd go out to hospitals, clinical labs, all different types of healthcare environments. And I would literally, sit down and map out processes and work with the clinic and, hospital leadership to try to figure out how to improve the way that they did things, to run processes more efficiently or improve safety for patients and employees and all those kind of things. And so, we have a lot of background as industrial engineers around process improvement, and particularly a science that originated out of Toyota in Japan called the Lean, or the Toyota production system. And it's all about looking at ways of making processes run more smoothly to produce the highest quality outcome that you can produce in the most efficient way possible, and trying to generate fulfillment for your employees by engaging them in the improvement process every single day. And so I started, doing our roofing work, and we apply it all the time. I constantly work with the team and the employees to try to find better ways of doing things, from how we order materials to the actual work on the roof. How can we do the work more safely so that way everybody goes home at night in the same condition as they came in the morning, and all those kinds of things. And so, I'm really fortunate to apply something that I learned throughout my career in college to this work, because there's always something that can be improved. And there's so many little processes, from things like how to, pull permits, to schedule inspections, to, ordering materials, you name it, that can be refined over and over again in the name of continuous improvement to do things more efficiently and more effectively.
All right, cool. Interesting. Tell us a little bit more about all the different types of roofs that you work on, whether they're replacements, repairs, maintenance, your typical clients, and maybe the sources that you get these clients from.
Excellent. Okay. Yeah. So we work on a variety of different roof systems, from your residential, single family home with, a shingle roof or maybe a modified torch down roof, to some commercial roofing systems like TPO, modified, all those big flat roofs that you see out there on your big commercial buildings. With regards to our typical clients, we have residential retail clients that we work with directly, that call us for estimates and need repairs done and things like that, all the way to management companies and investment companies that have portfolios of hundreds and sometimes thousands of homes here in the Northeast Florida area, that we do quite a bit of work on their homes with regards to particularly repairs, and then also re-roofs as well. So on the repair side, we go out and we assess leaks. Now this last couple of weeks, as you guys can see with the rain we've had in the North Florida area, tons and tons of phone calls for things that are leaking, maybe skylight repairs, areas like chimneys and flashings and those kind of things. And so we try to help our customers with those things, really to try to work on extending the life of a roof. A roofing project is a huge investment. And so anything that we can do to try to help people extend the life of the roof through repairs or maintenance in certain cases makes a big difference as well. One of the things I find here in North Florida is we have areas where we have a lot of tree cover. You can see over here in this area, this is a 2-story home, but over here in San Marco, the older parts of town, we have a lot of very large oak trees that cover these homes. A lot of people put these beautiful new roofs on, and within a matter of 5 or 6 years, they're already leaking on account of the fact that leaves fall on the roof and maintain moisture and hold a lot of debris up there. And we work on a lot of maintenance to try to help some of these portfolio managers, investment property owners, and maintenance companies manage their portfolios to extend the life of their roofs as much as possible.
Tony, you were talking about the portfolio managers that you deal with, and I know one of the ways that we connected with your company is from the National Association of Residential Property Managers. How long have you been involved in that, and how does that work with your business?
Yes, yeah. So we're actually relatively new members. We actually just had an opportunity to join this year. We were introduced to NARPM through a local investment company here called JWB, Jacksonville Wealth Builders. We've participated in a couple of the meetings. I think it's a fantastic opportunity to meet some local folks that are involved in property management and engage with them, and ideally try to help them with some of their roofing needs up here in the North Florida area. So far it's worked out great for us. We've met some really great people while we've been at the meetings, and have had some opportunities to work on some projects alongside some of the property managers there so far.
So Tony, and earlier in the conversation, we were talking about the processes and the background with the engineering, but there's 2 things that customers like. It's cheap and fast. So what sort of processes do you have to try to satisfy as much or both of those needs as you can?
Yep, that's a great question. So on the cheap side, really what we try to do is really sit down and provide estimates that are as accurate and close as possible to the labor and the material that are going to be needed for the job. I personally walk every job to make sure that I understand what the needs are of that particular job. One thing that you deal with when you deal with a lot of the investment work and these types of properties here in Northeast Florida, oftentimes is the things that are happening underneath the roof system. Walking around, getting a feel for how much wood damage there is, and those kind of things that allow you to try to avoid surprises down the line. So, the fast and cheap thing, interestingly, sometimes my estimates don't come in the cheapest, but I tried very, very hard to make sure that they come in the most accurate possible. Because one of the things that happens in the roofing industry is that you might get an estimate that looks really attractive and really cheap, but then they come in, they start doing roofing work, and you find that, hey, there's 20 sheets of plywood that have to be replaced underneath that roof, or 2x4s that have to be scabbed, and those kind of things, and the costs very quickly escalate, right? And so obviously from the get-go, the more accurate you can be about that estimate and the closer you can be relative to that, and trying to minimize those change orders at the end is very critical. With regards to efficiency, we've got a sizable crew of guys that we work on, specializing on repairs and the roof replacements. They're just really great guys. I can take say a 50, 60 square roof house in a day, a normal 612 pitch house, and actually turn around in a day, completed work. And then Claudia, who works in the office with me, works really hard to try to turn permits around and schedule inspections and work on notices of commencement and those kind of things that are needed as part of the process of doing the roofing work as well. So I think the thing that sets us apart with regards to fast and cheap is the fact that we have low overhead. We're very close to the roofing work. We're very connected to it. We have our hands in everything. I'm doing a lot of the estimating, making sure that the guys are efficiently working with the materials on the job and those kind of things, so that we can work as efficiently and effectively as possible.
You just touched on what sets you apart as far as the fast and cheap aspect. Where are some other ways? We know there are a lot of roofers in the Jacksonville area and Northeast Florida. A lot of competition. What sets you apart from them? A lot of people call it a unique selling proposition. What would you say is that for Endless Summer?
I think one, as an industrial engineer, I have a lot of focus on the technical aspects of roofing. So when you go out and you call a roofing company to come and look at your roof, a lot of the times, like it or not, what you're going to have is a person that specializes in the roofing sales process, right? They're not necessarily somebody that's going to have deep technical knowledge of what's going on a roof. Whereas, I can do a lot of the repair work myself. I've installed roofs myself. I've done a lot of that type of stuff, and I have a deep technical understanding of things. I love those hairy, complex projects that involve a lot of flashing work and siding and trying to deal with challenges with the way that water flows around different objects on a roof and stuff like that. And so, that's just not something that I think you're going to find everywhere up here in North Florida, where a lot of the roofing companies have a tendency to be larger, and they'll send a salesperson out that maybe has less knowledge of the intricacies of a roof. And what they're doing is they're relying maybe on just satellite imagery, punch all that stuff into a spreadsheet to give you a number, versus somebody that's going to come out and really look at everything and try to understand what's going on. So that I'd say is one of the bigger aspects of what makes us different.
I agree with you on your last point. I used to be in business development for roofing, and having owned a company and done construction, it was a big difference between maybe me and other people out there that only did estimating that had no background in it, which does what you said, just
right,
punches numbers in and sees what things spit out.
Well, I don't, probably a lot of people feel this way. I personally try to look at every customer from the perspective of, hey, if that was me and I was that homeowner, how would I want my home to be treated? And what would I be able to do to be able to take care of this particular problem I have, or whatever, under, the budget constraints that I have, knowing that roofing is a big investment, and not everybody has, $15,000, $20,000, $30,000 to spend on doing something. So if we can get something done with a repair, if we can do something that can extend the life of that roof just a bit longer to help somebody out, then we're going to try to make sure that we can get that to happen as well.
All right, cool. Hey, we know you're on site, and it's kind of a little cloudy out there. Hopefully it doesn't rain on you guys out there. In the last couple of minutes, let folks know how they can reach you, whether a phone, email, website. Give us all that information so folks who are interested in Endless Summer Roofing can contact you.
Sure. Well, thank you. Yeah. So again, the name of our company is Endless Summer Roofing. You can find us at our website, yourfloridaroofer.com, all spelled out, yourfloridaroofer.com. And our phone number is 904-357-0722. We also have an office conveniently located on San Jose Boulevard, just north of 295. You can see our big old orange Endless Summer Roofing sign out there on San Jose Boulevard.
Awesome. All right. Thanks so much for being here, Tony.
Thank you. Appreciate having you guys.
Thanks. Appreciate it again. And folks interested in other episodes of Property Pros Podcast, check us out on YouTube or Facebook at Property Pros Podcast. And we'll see you next time. Thanks.